Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Well, a little bit earlier today, I was doing some reading, as I usually do after I get up and grab breakfast. And I went over to the Daily Haymaker because it's been about a week now since the author Brant Clifton has released any material. But now he goes through stretches where he goes a week without. Then you get like 5 or 6 articles, boom, 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 boom. And today was like Christmas for us Daily Haymaker aficionados. And as I said in a previous video commentary, I generally agree with the Daily Haymaker a good 90 to 95% of the time. Okay. However, there are times when the Daily Haymaker is wrong, and it needs to be pointed out, and Mr. Clifton needs to be held accountable, as do I for my analysis of material. And again, if you have any comments about anything, just let me know on Facebook, or you can just drop a comment in the comment box below this video. Okay. But today he released an article called For Everybody Else, because the article right before that he was talking about races in his home county, Moore County, North Carolina. But this was for the statewide races, and a lot of what he says here I agree with. I agree with this stance on voter ID, as well as the income tax cap and the state Supreme Court race. I agree with his endorsement of Barbara Jackson. Okay. However, Mafia about 3 times. And first, I want you to, I'm going to tell you what the word mafia means, as it is written here on dictionary.com. Okay, there are, looks like, 4 definitions of mafia. Okay, one is a hierarchical, structured secret society allegedly engaged in smuggling, racketeering, trafficking in narcotics, and other criminal activities in the U.S., Italy, and elsewhere. To legal restraint and to the law, often manifesting itself in criminal acts. And then we have definition B of the Sicily definition, is a 19th century secret society similar to the Camorra in Naples that acted in this spirit. And then we have definition number 3, any small, powerful, or influential group in a organization or field, aka a clique. Okay. Now you look at those definitions, and then you can go to his article here for everybody else on the dailyhaymaker.com, and you can see here, we scroll down to NC Court of Appeals. Okay. It says the NCGOP Mafia in Raleigh got together and picked our candidates for this one. Okay. Now, he uses the term mafia here, NCGOP Mafia. Okay. So we'll go back to the definition of mafia here. Okay. Now, I will say that this word is partially right, but also partially wrong. So therefore, he should not use the term mafia when describing the NCGOP. Okay. The NCGOP is a oh man, I can't say that. Hierarchical structured. It is hierarchy structured. It is hierarchy structured, okay. However, secret organization, no. A small, powerful, or influential group in an organization or field. Okay, so these 2 definitions I want to focus on now. When he says the NCGOP Mafia made this decision, disagree with him for the most part, because, okay, so what happened is the state legislature, which is supermajority Republican, decided to not conduct judicial primaries for the state judicial races, okay? So that would have meant going to the general election coming up in less than 2 weeks now, and early voting's already started, by the way. Contact your local county board of elections for more information. Plug there, nice plug. The election in November, you would have had races where you would have had, like, I think, like, at least 2 races. You would have had 2 Republicans against 1 Democrat, okay? And, you know, you would have had 2 Republicans on the ballot, as opposed to if you went through a primary, you would have only 1 Republican versus 1 Democrat, okay? And so you would have had this situation. However, at the state convention, and delegates to the state convention, okay, which any registered Republican in North Carolina can attend and participate at the state convention, by the way, okay, as long as you at least pay the general session fee, which is usually around $70, $75 or so, and that's for 2-day period, okay, or even 3 days. You want to go executive committee meeting, but the general convention body, okay, and this was, I would say, close to about 800 people, okay, a pretty big group, not a small group, not a clique, as the word mafia suggests. They made a decision to modify the plan of organization, okay, so that these judicial candidates, okay, could be endorsed by the executive committee. June 10th executive committee. The general convention delegate body of about 800 people had made that decision. A large group of Republicans, which any Republican in North Carolina can participate, by the way, as long as they pay the delegate fee and, you know, contact their local candidate and, you know, at least fill out paperwork to say that they want to go to the convention. And or you go to the county convention. But if you cannot make the county convention for some reason, you just fill out the paperwork, give it to the chair of the party, and you're in, like Flint. Okay. Then at the state executive committee meeting, which is also a very large group of close to 700 members, and again, it is relatively easy to get on the state executive committee meeting, okay? Now, what happens is every 2 years, you go to district convention, okay? And usually the district conventions are usually relatively cheap to attend. The average is usually, I know District 7 down the southeast part of the state is $0. Most other districts are no more than $20. District 3 is pressing its luck a little bit by charging about $40, but you get a nice program, lunch, some other perks too. So it's still, I mean, it's cheaper than state convention. But you go to district convention, and usually to get on the executive committee, that it is, if you want to be on the executive committee, you can be on the executive committee. You are voted in formally. Formally. Sometimes there is a contested vote that is taken, but if you're somebody who you know has done some volunteer work for the GOP, if there's somebody who always shows up to your county GOP meeting and is fairly active in the party, you have a very good chance of getting voted in and on the executive. executive committee. Okay. Now, another way to get on executive committee is just seeking out your county or your district chair, going to them, asking them when the next executive committee meeting is, and asking whether or not there's any open spots available. And then you can go to the executive committee meeting for that district and get on there. Usually it's just, there's no vote taken. Usually it's just acclamation, and most of the time there's no objection from that executive committee body. So saying that the NCGOP Mafia made this decision to pick the judges is completely 100% out of line. Okay, so let's scroll down and let's see here. Okay, seat 2. Okay, Jefferson Griffin, Republican, versus Toby Hansen, Democrat. Sandra Alice Ray, Republican. Again, Daily Haymaker comes in and says Griffin got the blessing of the Raleigh Mafia. Okay. I'm like, and okay, but Ray is a sitting district court judge down in the Wilmington area. I've heard good things about her from some of our readers down that way. I don't think she's an Anglin-style trick. Referred to Chris Anglin in the Barbara Jackson, Anita Earls race. This might qualify as a great opportunity to thumb your nose at Grandpa in Dallas. Again, the Daily Haymaker just completely off the rails here. And just, again, as I've reiterated before, a large group of people, okay, these decisions were made at state convention. Very easy to go to state convention. Then they were made by executive committee. Relatively easy on executive committee meeting. A large group of people that it's easy to get to make a decision made this decision on judicial candidates. It was not an NCGOP or a Raleigh Mafia. Okay. Let's see. And then we have, Chuck Kitchen versus Michael Monaco, Allegra Collins. Let's see. Fans of Greg Brandon may remember that Collins is married to the judge who presided over the lawsuit against Brandon late in the 2014 U.S. Senate campaign. And then he chimes in like ER here. I guess we might as well go with the Raleigh anointed Chuck Kitchen here. Raleigh anointed? What? Hey. Oh, and by the way, do you know where Chuck Kitchen lives? He lives between Jacksonville and Hampstead in far southeastern North Carolina, right there between Onslow and Pender County, which is like a good 2-hour drive away from Raleigh. So saying he's Raleigh anointed, really? Really, Daily Haymaker? Let's see. Okay, the amendments. There, Brant Clifton, the author of the Daily Haymaker, writes, there's been just a wee bit of hysteria out there about these. Most of them are unnecessary, merely poised to draw us sheep out to the polls. What? Say what? Let's see. Yeah, right. Draw us sheep out to the polls. Daily Haymaker, we call those sheep the citizens of North Carolina, okay? And I mean, voter ID, great idea. Income tax cap, great idea. Saying most of these are unnecessary, merely poised to draw a sheep out to the polls is just completely off the reservation. Let's see. Victims' rights says this is overkill. I'm like, tell that to these victims, honey. That's not overkill. It should absolutely be in the Constitution. Let's see. What else do we have? Judicial vacancies. This is a power grab by politicians that does not benefit us. He says it's a big fat no. I say it's a big fat yes. Because what this does, what this is going to do if it's passed, is take the power of judicial vacancies away from the governor to the legislature. Okay, remember, the governor is elected statewide. Okay, in a governor's race, you can have a small rural county go 85% Republican, But then, because there's a lot more people in, say, Wake or Mecklenburg County, they get canceled out by these people living in these big urban clusters. Okay, so what this does, it transfers powers from the governor to the state legislature, and the legislature is more locally elected by, it's more of an even playing field, because guess what? No matter whether your county is urban or rural, you get an equal vote on your legislature. Now, of course, Mecklenburg County is going to have more legislatures than Pamlico County, but still, again, you're going to have legislatures. If this one particular area of the state is very Republican, you're probably going to have a very Republican state member of the legislature. If your particular county is very Democrat, you're probably going to have a Democrat-affiliated state legislature. Okay, State Board of Elections. Let's see. It says this one is also a big old hell no. Well, let me tell you something. What this is going to do is, right now it's Board of Elections, which Board of Elections should be bipartisan or nonpartisan. There should not be a political lean. Okay, because right now the Board of Elections is 5-4. Okay, and the majority of Board of Elections is the same party as the governor. So right now we have a Democratic governor, so it's 5-4 majority in favor of the Democratic Party. Okay, what this amendment is going to do is change this from a 5-4, where one party has majority, to a 4-4, 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats, and they're going to be forced, to work together in a bipartisan, nonpartisan manner, and that's really the way Board of Elections should be, in my opinion. They, this is about, this is not about political positions. This is about, making sure that every citizen, every citizen in North Carolina, regardless of their party affiliation, has the right to vote, and making sure that citizens of North Carolina, their early voting sites are at good accessible locations in their various counties, as well as making sure that these voting precincts on election day, make sure the machines work right, making sure, again, there's no traffic or safety concerns at these locations. So as you can see, these are very nonpartisan issues that the Board of Elections usually deals with. So why should we have one party who has why should we have one party who has a majority on the Board of Elections? I mean, doesn't it make sense to have an equal number from each party, a 4-4 Republican Democrat split on the Board of Elections? Yes, it does. So, of course, the haymaker's argument is, let's see, we're being told that these things, the judicial vacancies of the Board of Elections, will be much cleaner and honest if we take these two things away from one politician, the governor, and give it to 170 politicians. The House Ethics Committee still can't find that 2015 pay-to-play complaint against Representative David Lewis, R. Harnett County. I would venture to say taking power away from one person and taking it to 170 legislators. I mean, again, locally elected people, taking the power from one person to many, in my opinion, is always a good thing. So, another one, the right to hunt and fish, I'm not going to spend much time on it. I've already explained that in a previous video. But I agree with the haymaker on this one. Vote no on this amendment. I mean, it sounds like a good amendment, right to hunt and fish, but still, it's poorly written. It's very vague. And what the haymaker says is that, our friends out on the coast helped open our eyes on this one. We're going to vote no because of all the hassles that the coastal fishermen have been under the last few years. under both, and this has been a bipartisan problem by both Democrats and Republicans in Raleigh. And this would give an invitation to the state legislature and the governor to put more, not less regulation, more regulation, not less regulation on hunting and fishing. Okay. So, that is all, my friends. Thanks for watching this broadcast of the Conservative Pelican. I'm Bobby Crawford. You make it a great day.